Bum, 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 bum. Yeah, we're back. All right.
Yes,
Welcome
we
back,
are.
everyone, to another exciting episode of the Ab Files. I am joined once again by none other than my best friend and brother, Daniel. What's up, man?
What's going on, man? It's good to be back. As I always say, that's gonna be my line. It's gonna be my line. It's gonna be on our merch. It's good to be back.
It's good
That's
to
it.
be
It's
back.
like
Yeah.
it's good to be back. Yeah, yeah. No, man. No, it's been hectic little bit of time here with the hurricane season. That's been fun
Yeah.
to watch.
Yeah.
That's been fun to
There's a
watch.
lot of that going on. Yeah. You have family down there. My family was down there. I think your dad stuck it out. My brother stuck it out. Uh,
It,
yeah.
it's
So I think everybody made it, though.
I
I think
I
everybody
I
made
want
it.
to say everyone in our circles, thank God they made it. You know,
Yeah.
my goodness, because that thing looked like it was about to delete everyone. It was bringing in a whole new beachfront property. It's gonna rewrite that
Yeah. What?
shit. I was like, oh my
Anybody
god,
looking for a place to, build a house, beachfront house, and now's the time.
yeah. Maybe that's why the property taxes are so cheap over there.
Could be,
So
could be. But as you can
yeah,
see, I am in a new location this time, and I am,
what
uh, yeah, I'm in a new location, just chilling, hanging out.
I noticed. I was like, man, I knew he had a green thumb. Look at that plant behind you. Look at that plant
Yeah,
behind you. It looks mighty green. Man,
it
I
is
like it though.
very
I
green.
like it. You know,
Thank you.
it's funny. It's like you guys all use the same Airbnb. You guys all must use the same Airbnb. It was like you, Spencer, and EB. You know, and I love that.
It's just that
You guys
we're sharing. Yeah, we
we're
all
sharing.
share
It's like a common
it.
space.
Yeah.
It's like a
Hold
creator
on,
thing.
Spencer. Give me. I'm almost done. I'm almost done.
Oh man, no man. So listen, we do we want to say it? Do we want to say this or do we not want to say this yet? Are we celebrating 80 subs right now?
Well, all right. So at this moment in time, we have reached 80 subs. Yay!
Where's the applause button? I don't have my notebook anymore. I would have my applause
Yeah.
notebook.
So I
Applause.
appreciate.
Yes.
Yeah, applause. I appreciate everybody. Getting to this point. It's been a little bit of a
Yeah.
struggle, but it's all right. We're chipping away at that 100. We're almost there. We're almost there. We're more than
Yeah.
halfway there.
It means nothing, but it means everything. Like
Yeah.
no one
Yeah.
has any
It actually.
idea. It's nothing, but it means everything. There's that one scene in was it Kingdom of Heaven? Have you ever seen that movie with Orlando Bloom?
No.
Kingdom of Heaven.
Kingdom of
Oh
Heaven.
man,
Is it any good?
great movie. Great movie, man. It's about the
What's it
Crusades.
about? Oh, really?
Crusades and taking Jerusalem, right? And there's this one
Uh
scene where
was
Orlando Bloom like surrenders
was
Jerusalem to like
was
the
Indiana Jones in it?
no, not this one, not this one.
No,
This
he's not
one
the
is
penitent
more
man.
like no, this was one of the first Crusades, not the last Crusade.
Oh,
It's
okay.
different.
Not the last
It's
crusade.
different.
That was the
Not
it
the
was the
last.
one
That was
before
the
that one.
last Crusade. Yes, it was the one probably right before that one. But there's a scene where like Orlando Bloom surrenders like Jerusalem finally. And listen, I'm not gonna say spoiler alert because this shit's been out for like
Finally.
30 fucking years. All
He
right,
said
it's
finally.
been out. It's been out for 30 fucking years. So do yourself a favor, see it. Um, so dude surrenders Jerusalem, and the other guy, I think it's Saladin, was like, Orlando Bloom asked him, "What is Jerusalem worth?" And he was like, "Nothing. It means nothing to me." And then he turns around, and was like, "Everything." And I was like, "That's what our 100 is.
Yeah, that's our
That's
that's our podcast.
that's
We're
our
gonna
that's our
equate it to
podcast."
something like that. It means
Yes,
nothing, but
exactly.
it means
Everything.
everything. That should
Yes.
be a fucking shirt.
Yeah. Oh man. But anyway, yes. Listen, we're just out here hunting guinea pigs for research
Yeah,
and
yeah,
doing our thing
right for research.
for research. That's what it is. As long as you put that little statement at the end, everything's okay.
Yeah, we're putting lipstick on them and see if that kills them.
For research purposes only. Oh my god.
Uh,
Oh, Jesus.
that would actually be another good shirt. Have a guinea pig for research purposes only.
For research purposes only, right? I mean, that's where the term guinea pig comes from, right? So it's tracks.
Right? Yeah, it's kind of like San Diego means what? Whale's vagina.
Yeah. Uh, San Diego.
Oh
Oh man.
man. So, in case anybody new that's tuning in, no, this is not a podcast about animals.
Yeah, no, that's definitely not. Oh man, definitely not. But man, what do we got? What do we got? I know before we get into it, let's get our spiel out of the way. Do we have
Oh yeah, our spiel. We got it's like what spiel? What's your
brought to you
spiel?
by Wi-Fi?
Something we lack lack.
Yeah, 100%. Oh god.
No, but thank you guys for joining us. And before we go any further, please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and please leave a comment. Leave a comment. Leave anything. Just say hi. It's
Yeah.
anything. I don't care. It could be emoji of a middle finger for all I care. Just leave a comment. This means all of you. I do appreciate everybody that has been tuning in and has been subscribing. I know some of you personally, so it's pretty cool.
Yep.
Yeah,
yep. No,
I do, and I do appreciate it.
It's always good. It's always good to see the comments.
Yeah,
we do
it's fun.
read the comments.
It's kind of fun. We do read the comments. I do enjoy reading the comments. Yeah.
Thank
God nobody's been like, yeah. Thank both of you so much. I think about 95% of the comments are you guys. The other 5% is Daniel and I.
Yeah, but we do this for you. You guys.
Yeah,
we do this for you.
And if it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't be doing this.
If it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't be asking questions. We'd be out there with all the answers now. But
right.
That's not how we do things. But speaking of questions.
Speaking of questions, on today's episode, in this episode, we'll be talking about a man named D.B. Cooper. He was involved in one of the most baffling and what the FBI has referred to as one of the greatest unsolved mysteries in FBI history, and also one in American history. It's your boy D.B. Cooper.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. This is like one of the first times where I'm kind of in the loop. Not really. I'm not in the loop. I saw Without a Paddle, and I'm like, what?
But you know what this is like. You've heard of him.
Yes. Correct, man. I mean, epic for the, and I know a lot of people probably don't know who he is. Dude is a legend. Literally.
He is a legend, actually. Good, because everybody knows about him. He's been in movies. He hasn't actually been in movies, but
no,
people his story have been like in movies and stuff. Yeah, I don't think he makes cameo appearances in movies or TV shows, but he has one of the most recent like TV appearances that they've talked about or they mentioned him in was the Loki series, where I think it was in the first season, where DB Cooper was Loki.
They referenced that.
Loki was DB.
Yeah. They referenced that. Yeah, man. I forgot about that. It's been a minute since I've tuned into Disney.
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
So I mean, he has been mentioned in movies and and TV shows and all the kinds of stuff. So I mean, a lot of people have heard about him. There's a couple things. There's one thing that I didn't know about him that we'll get to, that I found interesting.
Cool, man.
So so on Wednesday, November 24th, 1971, a man going by the name Dan Cooper, which we don't know if that was his real name, but we're pretty sure it was an alias, bought a one-way ticket on Flight 305, a Northwest Orient Airlines with cash, flying from Portland, Oregon to Seattle, Washington, which is only about like a 30-minute flight. Now, from witness statements, He was described as being in his mid 40s, wearing a business suit, a black rain type overcoat, brown loafers type dress shoes, a white shirt, and a black tie. And eventually, he would wear sunglasses. So some people saw him without sunglasses, and
Huh.
other people they saw him with sunglasses on. He was also seen carrying a dark colored briefcase. They're not sure if it was a black briefcase or just like a dark brown briefcase, but it was dark colored,
Hmm.
and a 4 inch by 12 inch by 14 inch paper bag. Basically, just he had a paper bag with him. So Cooper was seated in seat 18C, and before the plane took off, he ordered a bourbon and soda. Um, I guess at those times you can just order a drink, any kind of drink while
It,
you're on
it
the
wasn't
plane.
Spirit Airlines.
No, no. Remember, it's different times too.
Yeah.
1971, you could probably do, a lot of
No
different
one was
stuff than
allergic to gluten, and you could probably
no.
smoke on the plane.
100% guaranteed you could smoke on the plane. In 1971, yeah.
Yeah.
I
That's
want
when
to
they
say
were
he was
healthy. I think that's when cigarettes were good for you back then.
right, right. They had the non-cancerous cigarettes.
Yeah. Yeah. Ugh.
Cancer-free cigarettes. Yeah. But he had a paper basically had a paper bag with him. So Cooper was seated in 18C. Before the plane took off, he ordered a bourbon and soda. And after takeoff, a little after 3 p.m., Cooper got the attention of one of the stewardesses and handed her a note. Stewardess took the note and just put it in her pocket without even looking at it. So I don't know. She might have thought, is he handing me his phone number? Didn't really think anything of it. She just kind of put it in her pocket. No big deal. After a couple minutes, Cooper leaned over to her and said, "Excuse me, miss, you better look at that note. I have a bomb." And that's an exact quote what he said because the stewardess reported this.
Wow.
"Miss,
Okay.
you better look at that note. I have a bomb."
Holy crap.
Again, this is 1971, so it was probably a lot easier to get a briefcase with a bomb on an airplane.
And let's not overstate the politeness of this man. Excuse me,
Oh, he
miss.
was yeah, no, yeah. Again, different time, so he was very polite. He wasn't
You got
anxious or
one of
anything
those
like that.
polite hijackers, everyone. Just be
Yeah, he was like,
polite.
"Excuse me, madam."
my lady, please, for a moment of your
I'm
time.
I'm sorry to inconvenience you.
Oh
So
shit.
Cooper said to her that the bomb was in his briefcase and asked her to sit next to him. As she was sitting next to him, he opened his briefcase to show her what appeared to be dynamite with a bunch of wires attached to it. Cooper told her to write down everything he was saying and to take it to the captain, which I think was kind of smart in a way. And we don't know if that was an actual bomb. She said it looked like red sticks, which would imply dynamite. They
Hmm.
had wires attached to it going to whatever. No, they never found his briefcase or anything else. So they can't 100% say it was an actual bomb.
Oh
But
wow.
he was
Okay.
also right. So he was also smart as in telling her to write this down. So I guess in a way they couldn't match his handwriting. Maybe he knew
Oh
that they were able to do that.
shit.
That's something that I thought about, right? No, I've never heard anybody say anything like that before or come to that conclusion. But that's something
Wow.
that I thought of. I'm sure other people have thought of that too, but I mean, and some of the other stuff that I've been looking up, I didn't. No one ever came to that conclusion. I
Wow.
thought of that. I was thinking like, well, that would make sense. I'll make you write it. You can't get my handwriting. You
Hmm.
won't get my fingerprints on the paper or the pen or anything like that.
Was he wearing gloves?
I don't think he was wearing gloves.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah. Oh. Um. Oh, and I missed it. He was wearing when he was all the stuff that he was wearing. He was also wearing a black tie. He's wearing like a clip on black tie.
Okay.
So because that's a little bit of an important note as well. So so he said, "I want $2,000 by 5 p.m. in cash. Put it in a knapsack. I want 2 back parachutes and 2 front parachutes. When we land, I want a fuel truck ready to refuel and no funny stuff, or I'll do the job. One thing he wanted and what some found a little odd was for the 2000 to be all in $20 bills. And I mean, it's like that's all he really wanted was $2,000.
But that's 1970, right?
Right. I mean, back then I guess that was a lot of money.
Like maybe five or six, maybe possibly 10 with inflation. Like I
Yeah.
know,
I
I know
mean,
it sounds nuts, but I was watching like the grocery supermarket dash, right? And these people would be winning like 1,000, 2,000. They'd be like crying because they're so happy, and I'm like, what am I missing? And then you do the inflation calculator, and it was like the equivalent of
mhm.
like $5,000 to $6,000.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, back then, yeah, because everything was cheaper. You could go to the
Mm-hmm.
grocery store and spend like, $50 and you could fill up your whole refrigerator. Now you
Yeah,
buy two things and it's like $50.
yeah, exactly.
I'm horrible at grocery shopping, by the way. I go to the grocery store
Yeah,
and I buy just like not even a bunch of stuff. I buy some things and I'm like $80. I'm like, what the hell? It's
yeah.
like,
It
man,
fits in a bag, and it fits in a
yeah,
bag. You're
yeah. That's
like
80
that shit
bucks.
used to
Like,
fit, yeah, that shit used to fill a cart. Now it's like, here's your plastic bag of $80. Like, hey,
yeah,
I got two F4s and some fucking drywall, and I maxed out at almost $100. You know what I mean?
well, that's
Like
pretty good.
that's
Yeah, no,
ridiculous.
yeah. Well, actually, I did watch your video that I saw that it was like a whole 2x4 was like $4,
Yeah, that's
which isn't
ridiculous.
too bad. That didn't seem too bad.
No, no. I just man, they used to be like $2, man. They used to be like two
Yeah,
bucks at Home Depot. But
yeah. I
anyway,
mean, it's still not too
DB,
bad. I mean,
yeah, yeah. It's
well,
still
let's talk about drywall, guys.
yeah, yeah. Well, did you know? No, no.
What kind of
It
screws
was
were
just
you using?
infuriating. Phillips number two, guys. Phillips had number two. That's the lifesaver. Oh my god. So yeah,
Did you have a
there
drywall
you go.
drill or did you use a?
Impact. I use an impact drill
hell, hell
to
yeah.
yeah, I did.
Let,
Yeah, I
fuck
was
yeah.
like, hey, overkill still counts as a kill.
Hey man,
So
you know what? Yeah,
yeah,
I know. They're like, "What? Use the impact for everything." I'm like, "Yeah, of course, use the impact for everything. It's just the shit."
because it works. I gotta hear that.
Yeah,
Like I gotta hear that. If it, what am I even doing if I don't have that? But
dude, I love
anyway,
that.
DB
I love the
Cooper,
impact drill.
DB Cooper,
The story of DB
two
Cooper,
thousand
right?
bucks.
Yeah. Oh
Oh
man.
man,
So yeah, so when the plane landed in Seattle, Cooper exchanged all 36 passengers for the money and the parachutes he asked for. So yes, he had passengers on the plane. He's I'll give you the passengers, give me my stuff. They gave it to him. Cooper did keep some of the crew members on the plane. When the plane took off, again, Cooper told them that they were headed to Mexico City and told the pilot to keep the plane below 10,000 feet. Cooper then put on a dark pair of wraparound sunglasses, which he is shown wearing in the sketches that later everyone would know him for. Like, whenever you look up a picture of him, he's wearing the sunglasses,
yeah,
and that's what most of the times. When you think of him, you think of him wearing like the sunglasses, kind of like the Unabomber. You think of him wearing like sunglasses with the hood. I
yep.
don't even think him like that's not even him.
No, it wasn't. They just picked him.
Yeah. Um, a little after 8 p.m., when the plane had flown somewhere between Seattle and Reno, Nevada, Cooper unbuckled his belt, got up out of his seat, and he heads towards the back of the plane, opened up the door, and jumped out of the rear door of the Boeing 727 with both parachutes and the money. And that would be the last time anyone would see or hear from him alive. Now, the exact of his jump remains uncertain, but it is believed to have occurred over the rugged, heavily forested area of southwestern Washington. But before he
Jesus.
jumped out of the plane, Cooper, for some reason, took off his black clip-on tie, and which gave the FBI a piece of evidence. And the FBI was able to get a DNA sample off the tie.
Whoa.
So Yeah, which is weird. Like, why would you take your tie off?
Huh. Well, I mean, that's the last thing on his mind is DNA. Dude, then you're not,
Right.
that's
I mean,
not part of the plan.
right, right. Which makes sense too, because you're not thinking like, oh,
Mm.
they can find me with DNA. They didn't. I don't even think they had DNA sample or DNA testing or
I
whatever type of evidence
yeah,
back then.
yeah,
And if they
yeah,
did, it was probably something that was like so new that they'd be like, oh, this will never take
yeah. This
off.
will never hold up in court. This is
Yeah,
witchcraft.
yeah. Which is crazy
But
because now everyone's
that's
like,
pretty. That's so ballsy. Yeah, nowadays like semen on everything. Like man.
yeah, oh,
um, but no, it's that's pretty man. That's nuts if you think about that. Like, not only is it nuts that he was able to open the door, it's nuts that they actually complied and gave him stuff. They actually gave him, well, for them, they're like, two, he wants how much? A million? No, 2,000. The fuck? Okay. Give him the 2,000. Give him the 2,000, get the passengers off the plane, the crew's up. It's a weird set of instructions. I
mm-hmm.
mean, like
Yeah.
those instructions are very specific. Keep it 10,000 feet. I mean, is that jump even survivable? I
Well,
mean, because you're
that's the
going
big question too. I mean,
10,000
it's
feet. Yeah, I mean,
plausible,
obviously it
right?
is. Yeah, obviously it is. But I mean,
Now, I'm
that's
wondering
still
if now what's the okay? So what's the lowest you can go to be so that radar doesn't detect you?
bro. That's I have no idea. Give me a sec. Then I'm gonna look it up on my phone while you talk. Hold on. Let me
Yeah, I mean
let me
because
find out
to me
something.
that's another thing I thought about was keep it. We're going 10,000 feet. Is that because of to hide them from
Radar?
radar detection? Yeah.
No, I think any higher in that jump doesn't become survivable because there's no oxygen
Okay.
up there and it's
So
too cold.
you
Yeah, he would get
okay. So he had to have been. He had to have some kind of jump experience.
had to have. No one sanely is like, I'm gonna just jump out of a plane. Unless he's either deranged, psychotic, or has like late stage cancer. No one's doing
Hmm.
that.
Yeah.
Mm.
So he's jumping out at about 10,000 feet. So he has to be able to know. He. I'm guessing maybe he was ex-military.
That would make sense. Yeah, no, man. No, the high altitude jumps. Aircraft type. Yeah. Maximum height for an aircraft jump, not like a halo jump,
Hmm.
um, is 10,000 feet.
Oh,
That's the
okay.
maximum height, bro. But they're pushing max height.
Okay. So he knew. He had to have known.
Yeah. That's a hard one, because when it pulls up, when it
Hmm.
those max altitudes are all over the place because my dude jumped from fucking space. Red Bull guy
Right.
jumped from space. So it's
Yeah.
like
He went.
I'm
That's
trying to
crazy. He went
read
to like
between the lines.
he went through like the sound barrier, right? He had like a sonic boom or some shit.
Yeah. And the average cruising altitude for a passenger type airplane, commercial airliner, is 30,000 feet.
Okay.
So they dropped that plane pretty fucking low.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. Wow, the minimum is 3,500 feet.
Mm.
Jesus,
Damn,
I
man.
would shit myself if I saw a freaking airliner coming that low. I'm like, nope,
Hell
it's
yeah.
going down.
Hell yeah. So
It's
okay,
going down.
so Mr. Cooper had to been military or he was a skydiver or both because he had to have known the max
Yeah.
height to jump out of the plane
What
because
was
he
that
also
plane?
kept the it was a Boeing 727.
727. Uh, bro, okay. um, so that Boeing 727, right,
Yeah.
goes 632 miles an hour. Okay. All right. However, the average speed a plane would perfectly go to ensure maximum safety is a however, the average speed of a skydive is around 120 miles an hour. Hold on.
So I'm wondering, like, is it possible for the plane to is it possible to for the plane to keep going and slow down, or does it have to keep a max speed for it, or you know what I mean?
Well, they probably they weren't told to slow down, right? They they were just hauling us to Mexico.
Well, nobody said it. I didn't see it anywhere where it said like how fast the plane was actually going. So I don't want to say like, yeah, they were going 600 miles an hour. I'm wondering if at all possible, because if he knew, maybe he said, "Hey, tone it back a little bit. Don't max it out. Just fly casual. We're going to fly at whatever, however fast."
I
Because I'm thinking if he knew the height of where he's capable to jump out of, he had to have known like what's the minimum speed that airplane was able to go. He had to have known specifics on that plane.
and he had to have known that because I'm pretty sure they would have had to haul ass at 10,000 feet to stay up.
Right.
Because the
See,
air's
that's
thinner at 30,000
right. So that's what I'm
feet.
wondering if he knew like, okay, we have to go this. He had to practice, somewhere along the line, somewhere jumping out of a plane at that height at that speed, so that he won't kill
He,
himself
yeah, he had to have
to
been taught
survive.
it because there was no listen 1970s. There was no internet. There was no like I could just find this in the library. He had to have been
Right.
taught that to make, and
Right.
then he would had to know how to use a parachute.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, I mean, he had to have known. He had to have known how to use the parachute. Had to, because he had four parachutes, and He's jumping out of the plane like he's done it before.
So what happened now? What can you fill us in on what the crew was doing? Were they just sitting back watching dude open the door and just dip out?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much that's what happened. I mean, because he's like, I got a bomb. What are you gonna do? Because you don't know
Yeah,
actually
no,
if
I
it's a
mean,
bomb or not. So you're probably just hanging back just to hang back.
yeah, and
And then
Boeing
if he
can
decides to open the
that
door,
that plane can land with the door open because it's happened in the past couple months,
hmm
right?
so yeah,
Boeings are renowned for not landing with all the doors on.
Jesus Christ. Apparently so, man. Jesus. Ah, that's scary.
Yeah,
That's scary shit. I don't know.
yeah. So okay,
Yeah.
so they got the description, and so I didn't know the FBI had DNA on him. I did not know that.
Yeah, they have even after all this time, like they still haven't. Well, I'm jumping ahead, but let's get back into the story.
Yeah.
Now, the case was called Norjack, which stood for Northwest Hijacking, and this case would go on to be investigated for decades. The plane was searched from top to bottom for any piece of evidence to try and identify who Dan Cooper was. The FBI released the serial numbers to the $20 bills. Um, oh man, yeah. So the FBI released the serial numbers to the $20 bills to see if maybe they show up and might be able to track him down. After 9 years in 1980, after Cooper had escaped, a boy found a rotting package filled with $20 bills that matched the serial numbers from the ones Cooper had stolen. There was only $5,800 in that package. It was found on a beach at Tina Bar when him and his father were about to like start a campfire. So this little boy was out with his dad. They were camping. They were at this place called Tina Bar, and the boy just stumbled upon this package of, there's some type of
20s.
package that was sitting there. Yeah, and it's just all a bunch of 20s.
What?
Um, yeah. Now I'm guessing at this time, being out in the wilderness, being out through the rain, elements and stuff like that. Um, you know, it's, nobody, who knows what the money looks like? It's probably all, it's rotting, so it's probably not even worth $20 anymore.
Yeah. And just to clarify real quick, brother, uh 200,000 is what he asked for.
Oh, 200,000.
200,000.
Oh, did I miss
200,000.
like that? No, man.
Oh,
Two
no, no,
hundred
no, no,
thousand.
no. Yeah, 200,000. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Which is a little bit more conceivable to go through the hoops and jumps that
Yeah.
this
Okay.
man did.
All right.
Because then that's
Yeah.
that's probably like a
I
cool
was,
mill.
I
Like,
was thinking, I was like, man, 2,000. I was like, that's shit. Like that ain't nothing.
yeah, 2,000. Well, no, because what happens, the only reason I looked is because you said the boy found 5,000, a bag of 5,000. And so I was like, probably the first number, 200,000 though, for real. But then he basically committed sewer slide for that money.
Um, I mean, did he?
I don't know. I don't know. That's why I love this story, bro. Like, in my heart of hearts, I want him to like fall from the plane and just like Superman land, and then like do his stuff. But I don't think you could survive that. Not over Washington. If you were like in Arizona where there's really
So,
no trees to hit.
but I mean, if you're trained to do this, don't you think like if you're trained to do this, don't you think flying over something like that, you'd have a better chance of survival?
Well, I mean, yeah, but remember the people that do this, even for the military, they know their drop zone. They have it all calculated. It's they have all the speed of the aircraft. They have the altitude of the
Mm-hmm.
aircraft. They know what position to hit. They know when to jump. Dude, 10,000 feet is the only direction they got, and there's like this is the kind of path that the plane is going, and I'm going to get off right about here. And because there's no way to scope out where you're going to jump, not in a plane. Because even if you look out the windows, you're
And
looking out the side.
and right, yeah, but
The
not
hell?
not at night either, right?
No, definitely not. Definitely not,
So
dude.
no. So one theory is that when Cooper jumped out, some of the money fell into the Washougal River and washed up on the Tina Bar. The FBI thought that they had a lead, but when they went to search the beach to see if they could find any more of the money, they came up empty. In the year that followed the hijacking, several letters were sent to the FBI, the New York Times, the Washington Post, the Los Angeles Times, and to the Seattle Times. And whoever wrote the letters were either confessing to the crime, claiming to be his brother, or paying tribute to a deceased Cooper.
Hmm.
In 1972, two men, Donald Murphy and William Lewis, were arrested on charges of extortion for impersonating Cooper and selling his story to a tabloid. The FBI was following leads all over the country, and more than 800 suspects were considered over the first 5 years of the investigation. And interesting enough, all but 24 of those suspects were eliminated from consideration. An interesting fact about the case is that the initials DB actually have no relevance to the case, and the FBI is not sure where the initials DB came from. It was said that it was a mistake. It was a mistake from a wire service that caused him to be called DB Cooper instead of Dan Cooper, which is the name he gave when he bought the ticket. So we don't even know. That's why I always said, like, we don't know in the beginning. We don't even know if Dan Cooper is his real name, because that could
Oh,
have just been like an alias.
yeah. dude, 100%. I need it to be. I need it to be because I want to say that this was as close to like the perfect crime as you could ever have. This is up there. If you're talking about perfect crime, this would be it. No one got
Mhm.
hurt. He, someone got away with 200,000.
Not 2,000 like some idiot
Not
claimed is said earlier.
about $5.
Fucking
He asked her.
chick.
He asked her
Yeah.
a Happy Meal,
Give me your
and he was
$20 and I'm gonna jump out this
give
airplane.
me, give me your
What a
pocket money.
dumbass.
No, no, but
It
hey,
helps
still two
when
thousand
you
dollars
write these
back then
stories at
is
3
a lot
o'clock
of
in the
money.
morning. Yeah,
You
no,
leave a couple
it was.
zeros
But even
off.
but 200,000 was a lot more.
Is a shit ton more. It's like a shit ton more.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
is how
Like
much more worth jumping out of a plane at night more? Like
so
that's how
yeah,
much
so I get
more.
so he had all this money, he had all these parachutes, he jumped out with all this stuff. His name's not even DB Cooper, it's Dan Cooper that they somebody messed up somewhere along the line somehow they came to it being DB Cooper. They don't know why. FBI's like, who the fuck is DB Cooper? It's Dan Cooper.
They're looking. Everyone's talking about DB Cooper. They're like, "You mean Dan? No, no, no. DB, DB."
Maybe that's why they can't find him because they're looking for
like,
DB Cooper instead of Dan Cooper.
like that guy. That's Dan Cooper. I know DB. Like what? Damn it! It's like the Assassin's Creed when you just crouch on a bench, you become invisible. Like that's it.
You can't see you anymore.
It's like you
Look,
can't see. Like that's him. He's right there.
there's Dan Cooper right there, the guy with the sunglasses. No, his name's DB Cooper. It's supposed to be. I don't know who that is.
Name's DB. I bet he's like, who the fuck? I bet I bet if he is alive, he's like, who is DB Cooper? Like that is all wrong. I bet he's like,
And that's
name's
not that's like the
Jim.
best way to get away with a crime.
Yeah. Like your alias got an alias. Like
Right, yeah. They didn't even get your
crazy.
alias right. Like, man.
You get your alias right. Oh man. But that's nuts though. So they found so they did so the FBI did mark the bills hoping to trace it to this dude at some point.
I think it's what it is. They have they had the serial numbers. They took the serial numbers. They actually like put it out there so people would, I guess, to banks, to like a bunch of places, so that they would if anyone came across these $20 bills, they would say, "Oh, this is a stolen bill. Who gave it to you?" They can kind of pinpoint or have an idea of where
track
he
it back.
is.
Yeah.
Trying to track it back, yeah. So, but I guess nobody has except for the ones they found. Now, his physical description is thought to be very accurate. The two flight attendants spent hours with him on the plane and were interviewed separately the night the hijacking occurred, and they both gave nearly identical descriptions of Cooper. They said he was about 5'10 to 6 feet tall, 170 to 180 pounds, and in his mid 40s and had brown eyes. And those people who interacted with him on the ground gave very similar descriptions and also said his voice was low and he didn't seem to have any kind of accent, but said he had an a very intellect vocabulary. I guess he talked well.
Yeah.
He didn't talk
He
like some
talked
bum.
good.
He talked very good. He talked
good. Yeah. Okay. So he was educated. All
Yeah.
right.
So I mean, I feel like he was a smart person. I don't want to say that he was an idiot, but I feel like he was probably a smart person.
It's a tough one because you could have the smart dude, like let's say the business guy, the Wall Street guy. I mean, granted, very far from Wall Street where this happened, but like let's say
totally on the other side of the country.
Yeah, but like the Wall Street guy, the financial guy, who just had a long course of L's and he just cracked. I could see that, but then again, I mean, where do you come up with this plan, bro? Like that's not a normal plan. Like that's not. Usually, it's like rob a bank, getaway driver, and go that way. Just find a way to get away, not
I
hijack
feel
an
like this
airplane.
wasn't I feel like this hijacking, this whole thing, it had to have been planned out months ahead of time, if not a couple years, at least a couple years ahead of time. Had to have been.
I
Because that's a
wonder.
big that's a big, you know, that's kind of like a big step. That's a big thing to do. Like you hijack an
Yeah,
airplane, you ask for 200,000. You know, he had to have
and
flown in the plane to know where where everything was, how
it
the routine is. I mean, that's what I would think.
and he had to have known that he was going to get the money.
Hmm.
Like
Well,
he
back then they
had to
probably
have
were easy to
known.
like.
Yeah, he had to have known he was going to get the money. And so, yeah, he like all this stuff had to fall his way. Like
Hmm.
they had to comply with what he was asking,
Oh yeah,
and he knew they
definitely.
had to, because any one of these things, any if the pilot was like no, or if the people stepped up and tackled him, or some shit like that, like that would never his plan would have gone to shit. Obviously,
Yeah.
everything had to happen the way it did for him to dip out like that. Um, I just wonder that no shoots have been found. No, I mean, it's did
No,
they
that's the big
canvass
mystery.
the
That's what.
area?
Oh yeah.
Like
Oh yeah. Yeah.
they had to have chunked out a square mileage of where his possible drop zone could have been, and I bet it's massive. I bet it's
Oh, it's a
jumping
massive
at
because
10,000 feet.
it's hard to pinpoint like the area when you're flying. Like, oh, it was here. Then they have to. So they kind of just probably like guessed where he was in the
Yeah,
area.
like the
Where did
airplane
they
was
fly
here,
over?
and like the search radius must have been something
Well,
insane
I
amount
mean,
of square miles,
and also, okay, you're 10,000 feet up, but you're only going to float so far in the parachute.
depending on depending on so many different variables.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
You know.
strong winds. Was
Right.
it snowing? Who knows?
Right.
It's up there in
But
Washington.
again, right. But I would assume also he knew he had an idea of what how the weather type, what weather he would probably encounter, and at what times. So he probably knew when was the best time to jump. You know.
Man,
So I feel like he had to have been military.
yeah. You would think so. You would think so. You would think so. At For what he asked and what he did, I would think so. Because that's ballsy. That is just
Right.
all in.
So
That
Cooper
that
was
five
first
k.
charged. Yeah. Yeah. They found 5K. I mean that's not a bad find.
Mm-mm.
Um. So Cooper was first charged with air piracy, which only had a 5-year statute of limitations. So as time went on and no suspects were found guilty or even or in custody, a grand jury indicted Cooper for violating the Hobbs Act. And the Hobbs Act is designed to prevent extortion, and it has no statute of limitations. This basically means if Cooper was caught today, he could be charged even though the investigation has been called off.
Oh
Another interesting
wow.
fact, yeah, another interesting fact, the pilot told police he's the one who chose the route the plane took that night, not Cooper. And Cooper just told the pilot where he wanted to go, which was Mexico City. But why Mexico City if Cooper had already planned to jump out of the plane? So this could eliminate the police thinking he had an accomplice, as there was no coordination about the route from Cooper. I mean, that's what people say. I still say he knew which way the plane was. In a way, he had to have had an idea which way the plane was going to go.
Well,
From okay, put it this way: so from Seattle to Mexico City or Reno, Nevada, wherever the fuck he was coming from, he had to have know where he because you're going to Mexico City. He's like, take me to Mexico City. You're in a plane. I don't give a fuck which way you go. Take me to Mexico City. So he had to know somewhat. He had to been some. somewhat familiar with the terrain, especially taking off from there. And when he jumped out, he wasn't. It's not like he jumped close to Mexico City. He was up in the plane for a little bit, and he just said,
He
"All right, I'm
was
out of here."
he was never he was never going
He was
to land.
go to
Yeah, that
Mexico.
was
No, he
just
was never
it
gonna.
was never
No.
no that flight path, that course, I think that was a red herring. I think my dude is either in Alaska or Canada. Like he went the opposite way of where everyone was looking.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah. No, Mexico
simple
City was like
redirect.
Mexico City was just take me this way. I'm gonna jump out. I'm definitely getting out of here.
Yeah.
That was it.
And
Yeah.
then there you're gonna land somewhere to probably the closest airport, which is either where we took. He probably made sure it wasn't where they took off. You
Mm-hmm.
know, that airport, the closest airport, was probably the next airport, which means he
Yeah.
knows that the police would stop that airplane, obviously get everyone, interrogate them, and by that time, all that shit's done. He is long gone.
Gone.
By the
Yeah.
time a search actually happens, he is long gone. He is in the wind, figuratively and probably literally. Um,
Probably.
but
Yeah. Literally. Yeah.
but yeah, man, that's insane. So I didn't know that there was no statute of limitations like
Yeah. For the
on
one they
that.
charged him, so that way they could catch. So if they caught him, they could still charge him for something. You know. And I
Wow.
guess for the most part, if if it was the other way, if it was air piracy, then it would be like 5 years, and he could come out and be like, "Yeah, I stole all this money," or "Yeah, it was me."
God, but wouldn't you want? I would want to know. I would be like, dude, pardon that man, pardon him, and just to see, just to
Just be
see his
like,
face,
"Dude, you
like,
won. You won."
yeah, like 200,000, like, bro, okay, okay, fine, you got one over on us, shucks, just that's so ballsy, But I think he went north, he went north. When was it? Did you say what date was it?
It was
July?
November 24th,
Oh
1971 is what I
shit,
think I
never
said.
mind.
Yeah, it was like the day before
Just
Thanksgiving.
Oh wow, okay. Okay. So you
Yeah.
would I'm assuming that that area is pretty cold. A lot colder than up here, you
Oh,
know.
yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure at that time. Yeah, yeah.
I'm and I'm not sure if a suit and jacket can keep you warm in the elements. Like I'm just trying to think. I'm just trying to think. If he dipped out and dove out over wilderness, that would lead me to believe that he had to have been like a survival specialist, like, and then that goes into the whole military training thing.
Yeah. So that's, I
You
mean, as soon
have
as
to
he
be a
lands, it's
survival
like,
specialist.
yeah, because as soon as you land, you're like, okay, I'm landed. I jumped out of the plane. I'm on the ground. I gotta move. I gotta get out of here. Because
Yeah,
you got to get distance away from where you're at, where you just landed from.
yeah, and where are the
Because you
shoots?
can't sit there. He had, I mean, yeah, that's a crazy thing. Nobody ever found him, but nobody found him either.
No, interesting. He
So there
must have.
was,
He must have.
there were.
Oh man.
I feel like he had. I think he had help. I think he had help. So there were a couple suspects.
Mm-hmm.
There were actually quite a few suspects, but there the two that I picked. One, his name was Richard McCoy. McCoy was arrested for a very similar hijacking 5 months later in 1972. He used the same escape method. He requested four parachutes, parachuting from a rear exit of the egg, parachuting from the rear of the plane, the same type of plane as Cooper, a Boeing 727, and was calm during the incident. And both passed a note to the flight attendant claiming a bomb was on board. And both notes had the phrases, "No funny stuff." However, McCoy was ruled out as Cooper due to differences in appearance, and he was home for Thanksgiving. So if Cooper had, because it was the day before Thanksgiving, there was probably no way that he was going to be able to make it home for Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
And McCoy was arrested for his hijacking and sent to 45 years in prison. But while in prison, he escaped and later was killed in a gunfight with FBI agents in Virginia Beach, Virginia.
Wow.
Another, yeah, yeah. He got sent to, I think they said Pennsylvania, and then he
From
escaped from there.
Washington?
Yeah, so I guess it was like Washington State got sent to Pennsylvania because he was going to do 45 years. I guess I don't know
Yeah.
how the whole prison system works. I'm not
Wow.
I'm not in there.
Yeah.
Um, so I guess he had got transferred up to Pennsylvania, escaped from there, headed down south, got caught in Virginia, had a big gunfight, and they ended up killing him.
Wow.
Uh,
Okay.
Another suspect was Dwayne Weber. Weber, a World War II veteran, claimed on his deathbed in 1995 to his wife, uh, he pulled her close, saying, "I have a secret to tell you. I'm Dan Cooper." His widow reported the confession to the FBI, and some circumstantial evidence, such as his knowledge of details about the case, added to the intrigue. Weber's wife later said Dwayne would have nightmares and would talk in his sleep about leaving fingerprints on a plane, and he said he had a bad knee from jumping out of a plane. Dwayne supposedly uh, took his wife to the place where the money was later found on Tina Bar Beach. Something else is interesting was that Joe, Weber's wife, said he had an old Northwestern ticket that he used to keep for some odd reason. She never knew what it was for, but that was the same ticket, same type of airline that Cooper had hijacked and jumped out of with his $2,000.
Now, but what did he do with the money? Like, okay, like deathbed confession, you should have treated your wife to something like spectacular living. You know what I mean?
Right. I mean,
Like
he had enough money. Maybe that was the thing. Maybe he had the money. All he probably lost some of the money jumping out of the plane because that is quite a bit of money to keep track of to
yeah.
jump out of a plane with. Um, so he jumps out of the plane, loses some of the money, but he has most of it, and he probably just married this lady. They he pays a lot of the bills. He probably had some little job, and he had all this money that he just kind of kept quiet and was like, I'm taking everything. I'm paying. It's kind of
Yep.
like nobody knows but me. But of course, he probably had. It was probably guilt, if anything, that why he was talking in his sleep.
But like, wouldn't you have noticed he always pays with cash? Isn't that weird? That's odd. Because he couldn't have deposited it, or else they would have sprung it would have sprung hot. The 20s would have sprung hot.
Right. Right. Yeah.
So
I
he
mean,
had to
that's true
find a
too.
way to
Yeah.
launder it. And it's like,
Yeah.
did he have a bank account? That would have been my next
Mm.
question.
Yeah. Yeah. That'd have been
It,
like, how much money is in his bank account?
did he was the dude that always bought shit at yard sales and flea markets, cash only? Like,
Yeah. Maybe.
wow.
Right. So, however, the FBI's investigation did not substantiate the claim. The FBI said that the investigation about DB Cooper is one of their longest and most exhaustive investigations in its history. As of 2011, the case files measured a staggering 40 feet long, and the case has investigated or covered more than 1,000 suspects. The FBI
Oh my
finally closed the case in 2016, but are still willing to take any tips and listen to any possible leads on the case. And after all these years, people are still trying to figure out who DB Cooper is and where the money is. Is he alive or did he end up dying in the woods somewhere? I mean,
I I just don't see it. I don't see it. There would have been a body. I mean, granted, out there, because you have to be okay. Let's say he did die, right? He did die. Let's say his chutes didn't open. He just met his maker going 200 fucking miles an hour, right?
mhm.
Um, there are bears out there. There are there are big predators out there, scavengers out there. Um,
Oh yeah,
and those big predators, what they do is they'll stow away their food for later, right? So if he was wrapped up in all that shit, it's easy to I'm assuming drag a man's body underneath underneath a rock or something, and that he's still just waiting to be found. But at the same time, it's the 5,000. It's the 5,000, dude, on the beach that
Mhm.
that like makes it seem like he got out, because even if it's just a pack of 5,000 wrapped in a bag, right?
Mhm.
Like that amount in 200,000 doesn't just fall out without
So you
a
think it
lot
was? You
more
think?
falling out.
Well, you think that was just like a plant, like he did it on purpose?
I think that was definitely probably like a red herring. That was
Mhm.
another one.
Like
But
he
I
just said,
mean,
"I'll throw this out there, give him something to, give him hope."
yeah, I wonder if they marked all the bills. If all the bills were marked,
I think
or
they did.
was
I
it a
think they
couple?
no, they had to have done like all of them because
Wow,
you know
that's a big
if you have
undertaking.
that much money, and you just do like a couple of the bill, like a few of the bills. I mean, chances are you're probably never gonna find it. So they
I
probably had to
wonder
do
if
all
they
of them.
were. I wonder if they were in sequence. Because if they were in
Uh,
sequence, then it could have slipped out. If they were all mixed up, you know what I mean? Like then he was 100% alive. You know, that's what I'm.
I
That's
think
at
he
least what I'm thinking.
I think he
I,
made it. I think he was. I
I
think he's alive. I think he was alive. I don't think he's alive anymore.
no,
But I think he was alive, and I think that the money that they found, it was just like, I'm just gonna let it go.
yeah. Um, he's definitely not in this country. Like he's definitely not in this country. There's no way he is. You know, like once you steal $200,000, you're looking at rest of your life type money, right?
Hmm.
That's what your plan should be, is rest of your life type money, and where you're gonna live the
Hmm.
rest of your life with 200,000, like with no problems. I'm thinking either Philippines, Pacific Island, or Africa or South America. That's where I'm thinking for him. Like if he's gonna live the rest of his days out with what he got. So, uh,
Could be. Hey, I mean,
yeah.
I don't. I mean, I believe. Yeah, I think it'd be kind of hard to stick around in the U.S.
Well, because then remember they're probably already looking for him in Mexico. They probably
Right.
had a bounty for him in Mexico.
Hmm.
And you know what? You know what else resides in Washington is Puget Sound, which is a big port in the Pacific
Yeah.
out there in Washington State. So he
Hmm.
could have just he just could have stowed away on one of those merchant ships. Paid off a couple people and be like, hey, I'm staying here for just until you get to where you're going, and they'll never see me again.
Hmm. Yeah, that's
That's
true.
that's what I'm thinking, at least. So
Could be. I mean, that's not a. That's a pretty good. It's a pretty good thought. You know.
yeah, I just
But
because he
yeah.
sent the plane to New Mexico. He sent the plane that way. He sent the plane. He sent everyone that way.
Hmm.
He's not. I can't believe he's the dumbass in this. I'm pretty sure he played chess with this thing, and he is not going the same way everyone else is going. If he's going and
I
he
tell
sent the
you,
plane this way, he's going the
I
other
think
way.
he got. I think he had help. I think he knew roundabouts where the plane was going to go because he was telling them which direction to head.
Hmm.
Um, I mean, I'm guessing the pilot coming out of the airport. I mean, how far are you really going to like deviate from the path from a straight shot from wherever they were to Mexico City?
Man, but the logistics of that, dude, that's
Well, I'm
crazy.
sure he, I'm sure he had to. There had to have been something because if you don't find any parachutes, you don't find any money, you don't find anything else. But I mean, there had to been something. Somebody had to give him a hand somewhere along the line. I
I
feel
mean, and
that's
then
what I feel like.
at that point up there, you can be like, hey, listen, my little Cessna, I had to dip out. I had to jump out, and that's why I have this shit all over me. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you could make up whatever story you want to,
Mm-hmm.
because
Yep.
it's like, what is he doing? He's obviously in a business suit, so obviously something went wrong, because that doesn't make sense. And I mean, how quick does the news travel there?
Oh my
What if
gosh.
you're
Yeah.
on this back country road and there's this dude, you know, let's say in a field.
Mm-hmm.
I doubt he was in a field, it'd be in the woods. But let's say he's walking down this wooded road, fucking parachutes. One just rolled up and he's just like, dude, hey, my plane was going down. I had to bail out, the whatever was off. So I dipped and I'm here. I
That's
wouldn't
why.
be wearing this.
That's why I feel like he had to have some kind of help, because where are the parachutes? He had to have roll them up and put them in the truck somewhere, or in a trunk or something, because where you're not going to drag all that shit all over the place.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Where, I wonder, what was it a beach? Was it on the coast that they found that 5,000? Or was it in like a bay or a lake? What was it again?
They called it Tina Bar Bay, Tina Bar Beach.
Tina Bar Beach. Because
Mm-hmm.
I want to see. I want to see if it's like ocean. Hold on. Tina Bar Beach. Tina Bar. Tina Bar. Tena. Sorry, I'm just seeing. It's a river.
Well, the river runs into it, right?
Yeah, it's a river. Oh, what? It's a river right near the Pacific Ocean, right near
Mm.
like the Columbia River base. Wow. Wow. Okay. I don't know. That's crazy. The plot thickens. No, I don't know. Oh man. Well, this is, dude. That's it. I'm telling you, DB Cooper is so insane. The FBI. It is the FBI's kryptonite. DB Cooper is
Yeah,
the
they,
FBI's kryptonite.
they they don't know who or where he is, and um the rest of the money where it's gone.
Yep.
You know.
And I bet it infuriates them they couldn't pin it on anyone. They're like, fuck. Who's gonna take the fall
Yeah,
for this?
somebody has to
No
take the
one
fall
can.
for it,
It's like, shit. Like,
right? Because
oh
they can't even
god.
get the name right.
Yeah, they can't even get the name right. Oh my god. That's crazy. I remember
Right.
that time when the FBI lost $200,000. Yeah. Yeah, that's yeah. That's great. That's great. I bet they were a lot of fun in DC during that
Oh my
time.
god, man.
Oh my god. Let me
But
I just before
anyway,
before we wrap it up, I want to see 1970, what? 1974? Remember you said?
971, 71.
1971, 200. 1.5 million today.
Woo, yeah, yeah.
No, 1.5 million.
That's
So,
enough to live off of
yeah, that's
quietly,
that's enough to live
quietly.
off of. Yep. Yeah, for sure.
if you want to get enough money to just live quietly in a little house and not have anyone bother you, it's enough money.
Yep.
You want to live a
Yep.
simple life, buy a regular car,
Exactly.
you know, You're not going to go buy like an extravagant house with, have 10 cars in front and everything and be like, oh,
Nope.
I work at the post office. I just, really good with money. Like, nah.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Exactly.
you know.
So that's it. 200,000. 1.5 million. So that's now you know. That's crazy, man. But he is a legend because of his antics and the story
He
and
is a
how
legend.
huge it is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, he
he's
is.
just
He's
God.
almost like a hero.
Yeah, it's like you have people like Billy the Kid, and DB Cooper. Like he was like the last. He was just the last cowboy for real.
Yeah.
Nuts.
Yeah,
And
really.
last like fucking crazy, dude. What he did, and everyone else is just copying him. Everyone else is just copying him. He set
Hmm.
the
Yeah.
standard.
They
ten
they
thousand. He
try
set
they
the
copy
bar.
him and they try to do the same thing as him and they can't do it.
Nope.
Can't do
Nope.
it.
Nope.
Nope.
Oh man.
But anyway. All right. Hey Daniel, thanks for joining us. Everybody
Yeah, man.
else, thank you for
Of course.
tuning in. Please don't forget to spread the word. Like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Tell us what you thought of it.
Yes.
Tell us how stupid we sound. Or tell us how stupid I sound. Thank you very much.
Or yeah. Oh man, thank you for having me on, man. It's always fun. Can't wait for the
Yeah, no
next
problem.
one.
Hey, thanks for stopping by. Again, like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. And until next time, everybody, peace.
Later.
In a world of shadows and hidden truths, we search for answers, we chase the clues. A podcast of enigma.